Justice Lawrence Mugambi, a name now synonymous with courage, a symbol of defiance. His actions have set a precedent that will be remembered for generations. He dared to uphold the law, to hold power accountable, even when it meant standing alone against formidable forces. His sentence? 6 months in prison for Acting Inspector General Gilbert Masengeli. A decision that sent shockwaves through the corridors of power. The charge? Contempt of court. A charge that many believed would never be brought against someone of Masengeli's stature. Masengeli, a man used to wielding power, felt the sting of justice. The courtroom, usually a place of his command, became a place of his reckoning. Then, the unthinkable, Mugambi's security stripped away. A chilling message sent to all who dare to challenge the status quo. A nation watches holding its breath, the tension palpable, the stakes higher than ever. This was no ordinary case. This was a showdown between the judiciary and the police force, a battle for the soul of the nation. The judiciary, the last bastion of hope, against the might of the police force. A confrontation that could redefine the balance of power. At the heart of it all, Justice Mugambi, now vulnerable, exposed. His courage tested in the face of overwhelming odds. The question on everyone's mind, was this retribution? Was this the price of justice? The removal of Mugambi's security detail, a calculated move, a move designed to intimidate and silence. A threat, some would say, a stark warning to those who dare to defy the powerful, a stark reminder of who truly holds the power, the invisible hand that controls the levers of justice. This act, a blatant assault on the very foundation of their democracy. Fear gripped the nation as the implications of this move became clear. This was not just about Mugambi, it was about the future of justice itself, a future now shrouded in uncertainty, as the nation grapples with the chilling precedent set by this case. The silence from the police was deafening. Then came the justification, cold and calculated, VIP protection training they called it. A routine procedure, they claimed. But the timing spoke volumes. It was too perfect, too convenient.
Security detail is a privilege, not a right. Reserved for the highest offices in the land, not for judges who dare to challenge me.
His words dripped with disdain, a thinly veiled threat. He, the protector of the nation, answerable only to the Interior Cabinet Secretary. The judiciary, it seemed, was beneath him. The legal community erupted in outrage, their voices rising in unison against what they perceived as a grave injustice.
This is an act of intimidation, a direct assault on judicial independence. We cannot and will not stand for this.
Fred Oyambo, the senior council bar chairperson, his voice trembling with anger, called it an act of intimidation. His words were filled with a deep sense of urgency and determination, a direct assault on judicial independence. This was not just a personal attack but a threat to the very core of our legal system. His words echoed throughout the nation, a rallying cry for justice. People from all walks of life tuned in, feeling the weight of his message. The Judicial Service Commission joined the chorus of condemnation. Their collective voice added significant weight to the growing outcry. Their demand, clear and unwavering, reinstate Mugambi's security immediately. The legal community stood firm, united in their resolve. This was not a request, it was an order. The gravity of the situation demanded immediate action. They would not be silenced. The message was clear. The legal community was prepared to fight for what was right. This was not just about Mugambi, it was about protecting the integrity of the judiciary and ensuring that justice prevails. It was about the very fabric of their nation, the rule of law. The principles that held their society together were at stake. They would not allow it to be torn apart. The legal community's resolve was unbreakable, their commitment to justice unwavering. Masengeli remained defiant. He dismissed the outrage as misguided, the accusations baseless.
The withdrawal was purely for training purposes. My absence from court is a matter of national security. There are urgent threats, duties that supersede court appearances.
But his words rang hollow. The timing was too suspicious, the explanation too convenient. Was he hiding something? The nation deserved answers. The cloud of suspicion hung heavy. Masengeli's words, once commands, were now met with skepticism. The people were watching, waiting, judging. The nation held its breath. This was uncharted territory, a power struggle of epic proportions playing out on the national stage. The judiciary, the police, locked in a battle for supremacy. At the heart of it all, the fundamental question, who guards the guardians? If the police could silence a judge, who was safe? The very foundation of their democracy was crumbling. The world watched, a silent observer to this unfolding drama. Would justice prevail, or would fear triumph? The answer, it seemed, would determine the fate of the nation. The removal of Mugambi's security was a chilling reminder of the fragility of justice. It struck at the very heart of judicial independence. Judges, entrusted with upholding the law, were now vulnerable, exposed. How could they carry out their duties without fear, without favor, if their safety was at stake? The implications were far-reaching, the consequences dire.
The eyes of the nation were now fixed on the government. Would they allow this injustice to stand? Would they defend the judiciary, the last bastion of hope? The silence was deafening.
The controversy highlighted the delicate balance between national security and individual rights.
Masengeli, citing national security, justified his actions. But at what cost? Could security be used as a shield to silence dissent, to stifle justice? The line was blurred, the stakes high.
The nation grappled with these questions. There were no easy answers. The path forward uncertain, fraught with danger, yet the pursuit of justice demanded courage, demanded action. Across the nation, a collective sense of unease, a growing discontent. Calls for accountability grew louder with each passing day. The people demanded answers, demanded action. The silence from the government was deafening. Their inaction, a tacit endorsement of Masengeli's actions. The message was clear: no one was above the law, not even the police.
This was not just about Mugambi anymore. This was about the soul of the nation, the very essence of their democracy.
The fight for justice had begun.
The future of justice in Kenya hung precariously in the balance. The nation stood at a critical juncture where every decision could shape the destiny of its people. The Mugambi incident, a watershed moment, brought to light the deep-seated issues within the judicial system. It was a case that captured the attention of millions both within and outside the country. It exposed the vulnerabilities, the fault lines in their democracy, and the urgent need for reform. The incident became a symbol of the struggle for transparency and accountability. The world watched, waiting to see which way the scales of justice would tip. International observers and human rights organizations kept a close eye on the developments. Would Kenya rise to the challenge, or would it succumb to fear and intimidation? The streets of Nairobi were filled with both hope and tension as citizens voiced their demands for justice. The answer, when it came, would reverberate far beyond their borders. The implications of the outcome would be felt across the African continent and the world. The fight for justice is never easy. It is a battle that requires the collective effort of the entire society, from the legal professionals to the ordinary citizens. It demands courage, sacrifice, and an unwavering belief in the rule of law. The resilience of the Kenyan people was put to the test as they stood up for what they believed in. Kenya, at a crossroads, had a choice to make. The decisions made in the coming days would determine the future of their democracy and the integrity of their judicial system. The world watched, hoping, praying for justice to prevail. The outcome would serve as a testament to the strength and resilience of the Kenyan spirit.